giving my raw take for the day and my Clash of Paris grade more so. Um, Starters, first things first, Clash of Paris. Um, Not a bad pay per view. Well, I was a grade. I will give it a fair 8 out of 10. I couldn't be mad at the matches on the card. Um, Probably one that was subpar per se. I would kind of say it with the tag team matchup between the Street Profits versus um Wyatt Six with Dexter Loomis and Casey defending their titles, and they actually it was a good performance overall. I just felt there could be more to the story for what it stands, and I kind of hate it when WWE. Me personally, I just hate when WWE kind of drops more so like team breakups that shouldn't even break up, to be honest. But it's like we had the since I think 22, maybe 23 at this point, and we shown signs that that was supposed to be it in the span, but there's still a faction today, and so just trying to see where the story falls in. Only but so many tag teams within the division, so I really feel like the Street Profits should be one that should be kept protected more so and kept as a stable. Going on to the first match of the night was Roman Reigns versus Big Bronson Reed. Um, Not much to say about it. Kind of see the sequences already happening. And to be fair, I think the best sequence of the match was the Hillman for the win. And literally, I think the best sequence of the match was literally like aftermath of the match. So that was definitely when Braun Breaker speared him on the table or through the table more so, and got finished off with the tsunamis, even though Jay came in. Um, I'm gonna get to the World Heavyweight Championship matchup. Another match that felt was so kind of subpar, but could have been up there was the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. Um, Kind of haven't been the biggest Becky Lynch fan, so it's take the credibility for what it is. I felt that they could have did more. I feel like they're gonna probably do a little more now with adding to that factor. I didn't feel like Nikki Bella was one of them opponents that she had needed to face. I wasn't a part of that Nikki Barrage or the Bella Twins army more so I never really kind of like believed in the hype in this. The other match that was on the card was Rusev versus Sheamus. I didn't really realize this, but I almost forgot that Sheamus is only the Rusev won, but this is the only second time in his career that he's ever tapped out. So that's really highly impressive considering that he started back with WWE. I want to consider it in um 08, got to the main roster in '09, and been living up to expectations ever since. I really feel like his career was highly potent to when he first started off. Seemingly just been slugging down to the midway card, I guess, after injuries and booking. But, overall, they did a good matchup itself. And for the next matchup, I want to say was Logan Paul versus John Cena. So this is the good. I wouldn't say there's a good passing of the torch, but it had a really good amount of sequences that I really had was highly anticipating and liked. So not a passing of the torch again, but I do feel like it definitely showed the credibility of both people. Like it showed the age of John Cena, of how well he is diverse, and his move sets have definitely his move sets have definitely fine wined. It's not like in the very beginning when he was like the five moves of doom. His arsenal has definitely got vast, and it's sad to say that we're coming to the climax of the end of his career to really see all this, but we got what we got. The guy's been entertaining us for so many of years, and just counting down to that last date of December from when he finally retires. I know we only got like maybe 10 more times to finally see him. So, intrigued by seeing who's going to be like the next opponents because we know we saw Brock after the SummerSlam fiasco. So I don't know if we're going to see more. Hello there. And going off to the main event of the match at Clash of Paris was the World Heavyweight Fatal 4-Way match between Jey Uso, LA Knight, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. Throughout this matchup, I'm not going to lie, it was frustrating to see Jey Uso make the critical mistakes. Don't know if you guys are tuned in. Hi, how's it going? But it's critical to see how many mistakes Jay made to, and if anybody has caught the raw. So literally, you seen my. I don't know if anybody has seen my short, but LA Knight hit on critical points. There were so many sequences to where they could have taken out Seth Rollins and made this a mainly triple threat match. And LA Knight focused on a lot. Like it could have been just it could have been just a triple threat, but unfortunately, because Bronson Reed and Brian Breaker were kicked out of the arena, a story written earlier in the night. So literally, it came down to a point to where Becky came in here, black masked up and everything, and low blow CM Punk, and that's how Rollins was able to curb stomp him on a chair. Literally, I'm not mad at the sequence. I haven't been really that big of a fan of CM Punk Raw, where Becky Lynch kept slapping him on the sequences. We might have a potential daily return, probably for a one-off, or maybe like a sequences, maybe just a match then a sequence in between like them. I definitely do feel like the CM Punk Seth Rollins rivalry does need to climactically end, maybe in like a hellacious match, Hell in a Cell, Last Man Standing, or even an Iron. I feel like they could be today's versions of Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart's rivalry, just for the hate that they draw from each other, or just the acting that they draw. I really do feel like they would mesh. They would mesh well, definitely, in extending this rivalry. It could be the biggest moneymaker because I do feel like eventually at Survivor Series you might get Team Seth versus Team Rollins, since we've seen the sequence happens with and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed taking out Roman. So we could be looking into that realm. Maybe looking into the possibility of Roman probably facing Seth for the World Heavyweight Championship. Never know how everything goes on, but you know, we're going to see how the sequences of everything takes place within the next couple of weeks. I am hoping that we do see an AJ Lee return. Hopefully that it'll give a hint to the story. It'll give it a little more added spice to the storyline between Punk and Rollins. I am kind of interested in seeing where they go with LA Knight and Jey Uso at this point, because they have been crowd hype, their crowd hype potential. So even though both of them don't have considerably a belt on them, it's still going to be considerably seeing what storylines they're going to be added to. Again, you might get Team Roman. You might end up seeing, instead of CM Punk being involved in this matchup now, because we had the triple threat earlier this year, we could see a possible Jacob Fatu tag teaming up with the original OG Bloodline. And that kind of really would be interesting to see that sequence happen. But it's just a matter of where they're going to go with the storyline per se, and seeing if anybody will fall in, fall out of the story at that point. So we are hoping and looking to see something different, hopefully in the near future. There is a few months, I think like a month or two before we head to Survivor Series. I'm pretty sure that there's a Wrestling Palooza that's happening this month on the 20th. It's going to be featured on ESPN. I am one probably is not going to be in tune. If anybody is familiar, also as well, WWE has shifted their content from off of Peacock to ESPN. So I honestly had did a poll the other day. I'm going to probably for the month of September, I'm probably going to do more anime cover and probably do more anime related project content. So if anybody is interested, I'm probably going to be limiting on the wrestling vlogs, probably so, until we go ahead and get a present day archer of where we're gonna go with the content on the channel. So, if anything, please be tuned in for my. I'm gonna try to have a workout session today later on, seeing how we feel. We're gonna try to see if we can get some rest later on. I am about to take a nap again. Took one shortly and couldn't go back to sleep. So, but if anything, guys, like I said, I'm going to be probably going to try to go live later. Hopefully, like I said, I will be doing a giveaway later on this week. So be on the lookout for that. And if you are tuned in on the live, please become a subscriber today. It helps out the platform. And please give it a like and also share my content. And please, if you do, be tuned in for more content on this platform, on my TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you enjoy this, be tuned in and take it easy, guys.